Greetings, this is Tyra Olafemi, your goddess guru, here to share a word of inspiration with you. I feel led to talk about addiction today. Addiction is something that I think most people don't fully understand. Some of us don't realize that we are addicted. But I don't know. I just feel like we need to talk about addictions today because I just feel like addictions keep us caught up, that they're a response to a lack of us really knowing what it is we're supposed to do. They're a response to not knowing who we really are. I was just kind of pondering. I help people or talk to people about losing weight. I don't know if I help people lose weight, but anyway, people tend to contact me about when they need to lose weight. And oftentimes I see, and I know this from experience, the addictive patterns that people have when it comes to food. And, you know, a lot of us here in the United States, in the South in particular, we will say we love food, right? And I do think that people around the world, I think people love food. I mean, food is, it's great. It really is. But when we love food to a point where we feel like we can't do without something, then that's beyond a love of food. Okay, when we are having an emotional issue and we use food, that's beyond loving food. That's using food in a manner to cope with life. People use all kinds of things, drugs, all kinds of drugs. Oh my God, food is a drug. Did you know that? But you know, natural substances like weed, marijuana, heroin. I don't know how natural that is, but I know it's made from something. I'm not good at quoting all that stuff, but anyway. Oh my God. And then the ones that are addicted to prescription drugs, that's a trip to me. That is something I'm glad. Other folks take that. That's just, oof, that's serious. Gambling, sex. Oh, here's a good addiction that people tend to not talk about too much. TV. Okay? How many of y'all are watching TV because you're running from your problems? OCDs. Y'all can talk about me if you want to. But if you have an obsessive compulsive disorder, to me, you have an addiction. It might be a mind game or, you know, you get something off and balanced in your mind. I have dealt with it. I have my own OCD. I'm not joking for those of y'all that know me. I have dealt with an OCD and continue to deal with one to this day. But I'm real with myself. It's a way to cope with life. And you just never stop doing it until, guess what? You make a choice. And that's what I want to talk about. So, you know, number one, I say this all the time. We are not humans. We're not only human. Let me say it that way. We are. This is me. I am this body. This is not all that there is to me. This is the least real part of me. We are souls. We are consciousness. We're energy in a body, okay? You have to have a body in order to have a physical experience. And so let's just really and truly remember that in all that we discuss. That's what we're here to remember, that we are truly consciousness, souls in a body. And so when we walk, is that being our main truth, there is no need for freaking addiction, okay? There's no need for an addiction. It's when you don't know that and you're living the lie, and the lie is so painful because it is so opposite of the truth. I am a wonderful divine being. Okay? I am divine. Made out of God stuff. I'm all good, baby. Okay? That's the truth. I am horrible. I am lack. I am limitation. Now that's the exact opposite of the truth. I am a limitless being. If I'm made out of God material, and it doesn't matter what your religion is, for those of y'all that believe in a higher divine power, which I do, it doesn't matter what your religion is. The bottom line is, everyone that believes in God believes anything is possible with God in the mix. All right? So how are you going to be living according to lack and limitation? It makes you crazy. And when you got this lie over here and you're like trying to make it true, you're trying to live it or you're buying into it, it really gets into conflict with the truth. And now you don't know this is going on. You feel the conflict. But most of us have not been educated about this conflict. And so we do what? We do a little bit of this or a little bit of that to kind of take the edge off of that negative feeling that we have inside. Oh, God, I'm not lovable. That's bull crap. You are lovable. You are loved, whether you can see it or not. Whether the people that first taught you you're not loved and lovable showed you that or not, you are loved. You are lovable. You just got to see it. Okay, but let's say we're buying into I'm not lovable. I'm not loved. Okay, well, that's just not true. But when you feel that way, you've got to some kind of way find a way to deal with how that feels. And so we'll do a little bit of this. We do a little bit of that to try to take the edge off of it. And the next thing you know, we do a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that to take the edge off. And then it's more and it's more and it's more and when it's more. And it takes it off just enough that we think, oh my God, this is really working. And so we do it and 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 we do it until it's just like I have to do it all the time. I have to do whatever this is all the time. Oh, check this out. Some of you are addicted to emotions. You don't feel right unless you have your anger fixed. And then once you get angry and you get pissed off and you just have that emotional release on somebody, you're like, I feel good now. Some of you are addicted to depression. Some of you are addicted to just, low vibrational feelings. It's just how it is. So you get used to having this go on and on and on, and I'm talking to you as someone who is speaking from experience. So please know that I'm not pointing my finger at you without pointing or realizing I have fingers pointing back at myself. I know this, which is why I share it, because I don't want people to think they have to live like that forever. I lived in an addictive state when it came to emotions, food, my OCD habit. But once I began to realize it was me not knowing the truth of who I and what I am, I could begin to say, okay, instead of doing that, or even in the midst of it, I'm still going to learn who I am. I'm going to learn the truth of who and what I am. I am going to start living in alignment with the truth, my true identity. And though I may not do it all the time, I will make it predominantly the way that I live until I do it all the time. You have to have that belief that you actually can live in alignment with the truth of who and what you are. Guess what? You might have to educate yourself. Don't give me no excuses. That's the thing about addiction. I don't take excuses from nobody. I don't care what happened to you. It happened to a whole bunch of people. And guess what? They did not choose addiction. Or if they did choose addiction, they eventually chose to not be addicted. I don't want to hear any excuses. Be real. That's the thing I like telling people about addiction. Just be real. Admit, I like numbing myself out with the TV. That way when you do it, there's no need in feeling bad. You're just admitting this is how I'm coping with the situation right now. But even when you're still in the midst of the addiction, you have to begin to make steps to do something in addition to your addiction. Like educate yourself about your addiction. Because the way you come out, it is through choice. Bottom line, there's no getting around that, baby. There's no magic bullet. You just got to make a decision. You're not going to be addicted like that anymore. But you have to learn about what your addiction is and what is it that other people have done to come up out of it. You have to learn about yourself. You have to learn about higher universal truth. I don't care if you got a religion or if you're an atheist. Bottom line is there are higher universal laws in action that we all live according to. You need to know what those are. Here's a good thing when it comes to addiction. What you think about, you bring about. That ain't got nothing to do with, that's just truth, okay? It doesn't matter if you have a religion or not. That's just truth. What you think about, you bring about. Think about your addiction enough, baby, you're going to bring it about. Think about something other than your addiction. And you don't want to think, I don't want to think about my addiction. You just don't want to think about it. What you want to do is you want to begin to shift your awareness to something else. Such as, I am receiving my healing. I am receiving good. Okay? So you want to know the higher universal laws and truth. For some of you, you straight up need to be a part of some religion. It's going to help you. You need that structure, all that kind of good stuff. It doesn't matter to me. I never care what path people take. My thing is choose the path that's going to get you out that hole. Just make the choice. A movie that was very pivotal for me. Okay, first of all, let me put you on pause. There's a book that I read called Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav when I was at the height of my food addiction and depression. Oh, God, I was so depressed. And so steeped in eating food all day long. And I read this book and he talked about addiction. And what he said was when you're caught up, and he was addicted to sex. And what he said is when he felt the urge, what he began to do was ignore it. It sounds so simple, but it really is true. And basically what happens is when we have the urge and it's like this whole emotional thing about, no, I'm not going to do it. I said I wasn't going to do it. And I said no. And you know, and then it's kind of like, well, I got to do it. And then you engage it. You do that thing. It keeps that power over you. So when you instead say, and some of my friends, some of my spiritual friends said, ignore. I don't know about ignore. Ignore worked for me. Ignore it. I'm just not going to pay any attention to it. I'm not giving it my awareness, my thoughts. I may feel it, but I don't have to do anything with it. I'm just going to do something else. Excuse me. And I'm not into suppression. I'm into, this is what I feel is another way that I began to interpret ignore. I shift my awareness. You have to admit that the addiction really is a numbing tool. It numbs you. And so what I had to start saying was, I'm not going to numb it. I'm going to deal with whatever I'm thinking about. That was one thing. That was when I was a little bit stronger. But the other thing I began to say to myself was, I literally am going to find other things to do that are healthier, that give me results that I desire. And so, and it began to show me I can choose. See, addiction speaks to feeling like you lack power. And what you have to learn is you have all power within you to change whatever it is in your life. You may not be able to change the world, but you, doggone it, you can change you. Addiction oftentimes speaks to our power, our feeling powerless. And so that addiction has all the power over you. And that's why I said, maybe I said it in another video, you do the addiction in the dark and watch it grow. Watch the addiction have a power over you. You even have a relationship with it. You talk to your addiction. It is a friend to you on some level. Mostly not, because addiction normally causes massive problems. I don't know why my light messes up like this. But anyway, so you have to shift your awareness to do other things. That's why I said it's a choice. I'm going to choose to not numb myself out. Either I'm going to say, okay, really what's going on in this moment? What was I thinking about that made me make that urge come up? And then you can begin to say, I'm going to do something different. So for me, I began to learn the more I stayed away from home and did stuff outside the home with my children, because I am a stay-at-home mom, then it occupied my mind. I didn't have time to think, I don't feel good about myself, or I feel like I'm a failure. I didn't have time to think that. I'm too busy out and about with my kids at the children's museum or the playground and different things like that. So a lot of times when I kind of start getting back into my emotional eating rut, I know, get out and do stuff. Go get out the house. Go somewhere, find a play group or study group for my kids. Do something else. But honestly, this is what I really want to talk about today, is this movie called A Beautiful Mind. So this professor in this movie, this man is a genius. Really was a student when the movie first starts. But we see all this, he has these relationships with this spy, and I don't know, it's like these people show up that are telling him, we have this military thing that's going on, and so they need him to do this, or they need him to do that, and it turns out this man is really schizophrenic. Straight up, nobody else knows any of these people except for him. And his schizophrenia literally gets out of control. It gets completely and totally out of control. It's been years since I have seen this movie. I don't remember everything. I just remember that it got to a point where he got married and he almost killed his baby because these people were talking to him and told him to go do something, and he leaves this little infant that can't even crawl in a bath of running water. And that's when his wife was like, oh, you have to get on medication. So they did like a lobotomy or something like that on him, and he became basically a vegetable in terms of his mathematical genius. He couldn't do anything. His mathematical genius friends would show up and they would see what he was working on. It was totally embarrassing. He was like, I think literally withering away because the mental health system had nothing to offer him. And they could not help him heal. But the thing that I kind of came to the conclusion of, and I'm not a mental health professional by any means, is that he really and truly developed a relationship with the people that he saw was two men, excuse me, and a little girl. He told his wife, let me get off this medication. If I get off the medication and I'm not able to pull myself together, I'm not able to move past this, I will get back on the medication forever. Because his wife knew he really needed to be given this chance because he was wasting away. She agreed to it. What he did, and this is what I feel is very important for people with addictions, because I feel like he just really was addicted to his schizophrenic state. We have to make a break with our addiction. We have to tell that thing, I'm done with you. You may never leave, but guess what? I'm not going to talk to you anymore, okay? And it's going to be okay. You'll be all right, but I'm done with you. He went to all three of them, the three people that he was seeing, this mathematician, and he told them, I'm done. The one that he really and truly had to say goodbye to was the little girl. He was really torn up about having to say goodbye to her. So they were like, no, you can't leave us. You can't leave us, especially the two men. One was like supposedly, this roommate that he had at some point who was also really scholarly. And the other one was the CIA, FBI, intelligence type agent. And they were like, we need you. We still have this going on and blah, blah, blah. And everywhere he would go, they were just in his face talking to him like, don't leave us. You got to help us. Come on, get on this thing. Come on and help us, help us, help us. And people thought he was crazy because no one else could see these people talking to him. And he would see him and he would just like do like this. And everyone's looking at him like he's crazy, but he's guarding himself. He's saying, I'm not going there. He would not engage them. He would not say no, nothing. He just would do this and walk away. Do you know they never left? He eventually got to a point where he never had to get back on medication again. And he won a Nobel Prize. That's how much of a genius he is mathematically. And the night that he won the Nobel Prize, he's walking out. This is how it looked on TV. He was walking out, and he looks over, and he saw all three of them standing there. Eventually, they just shut up. They never went away. Every now and again, he would look up, and he would see them. And all these years later, on the night that he won the Nobel Prize, there they were, standing there as he walked out from winning the prize. He was with his wife, and he looked up and he saw him, and he just went the other way. You want to get rid of your addiction? You just got to turn your back on it. Watch that movie. That movie helped me so much to realize if that man can turn his back on schizophrenia, I can turn my back on my addictive behaviors. I choose to not say I'm an addict. I choose to say I have engaged in addiction. Because what we say, here's another universal truth. What we say actually will manifest itself. Now, when I'm in the beginning of that thing, I call it like I see it. I am an addict. But most of the time, I might say I'm addicted to food. However you want to say it, baby, say it. Tell yourself the truth. You are an addict. You have addictive behaviors. You are engaging an addiction. Whatever you need to say, admit it. Okay? And when you're ready, you can make the choice to just turn your head away from that thing. Is it always easy? No. And that showed me. That's why people say all the time, I remember my mother, after she gave up smoking cigarettes, she was like, at any given moment, I could become a smoker again. The urge to smoke is still there. Even though, after a while, it became easier for her to say no and preferable for her to say no. But the urge to smoke was always there, she would say. It just wasn't like this ever-present constant thing like it was when she first decided to stop smoking. And I get that. And those people, those schizophrenic friends of his, the ones that made up his schizophrenia, they never left. But they realized he was not going to talk to them. He was not going to pay them any mind. He was shifting his focus away from them to something else. Did they ever leave? No, they were always there. And if he had started talking to them again, guess what? He would have gone full-blown schizophrenic again. He could have gotten out of it again, but why go there? It's like so hard. Once you get out of it, it's like, oh, I do not want to go back that path again, because you got to get yourself up out of it. But once you do it one time, you know you can do it. That's the thing. If you haven't done it, you don't think you can do it, but you can. Why? Because all the rest of us have done it, so why can't you do it? Stop wasting your life. Stop numbing yourself. Stop trying to live the lie and having to numb yourself so that you can make that lie work. You can live it. Stop all that. Know the truth about who and what you are. And shift your awareness to experiencing that and that only. The other part will always be there. It'll be a constant reminder so that when you see someone else who's struggling, you can say, you know what, I've been there. And I know how to get out of it, and I'll tell you how to get out of it. Your story will be a testimonial for somebody one day. Okay? You can't just expect it just to just be gone. It's there. But what you can do is choose how you're going to engage that thing or not engage it. And I will never deviate from saying the key to getting free is to know who you are. I hope this video helps you. Come home, get free. Get out of that. Don't live in that addictive state. It is no fun. It's a waste of your time. All right? Peace and love. And know that you are loved.